I, like most people, was working a job that I absolutely could not stand. I was working for a company that I didn't believe in, and I was doing something that I didn't want to do. This was about 8 years ago at this point, and I've been making a living creating content for the past 6 years. So I was able to actually break free of that job and do the things that I wanted to do and follow my passions and my hobbies and get paid pretty well to do it also. So before I became a content creator and got to do this full-time and make a living doing it, like most people that came fresh out of college and had no job lined up, and had a very difficult time getting jobs and getting interviews, I was a graphic designer by trade. So I was in the art field, and it was extremely tough to find a job. So after college, I spent the next 2 years basically hopping from job to job, trying to find someone to work for in the art industry that I actually enjoyed and thought I could grow in and make some money. I began working in the screen printing industry, which is basically textiles, just making t-shirts, printing on t-shirts, doing embroidery, making hats, basically just branding and designing for other companies. And then I also did freelance designing. Like most artists, you kind of have to have a side hustle to just make ends meet. I think at the time I was making a little over 35 grand a year, maybe. It was really tough. And I think about how much I was making then and how much I'm making now, and it's pretty amazing to me that I was even able to get by. You know, I really had to be strategic with my money and the way that I moved, and even just starting a business was extremely difficult. So I had worked for multiple screen printing and embroidery companies and just hopped around, could not find one that I actually enjoyed working for. And by the third company that I started working for, I asked the owner, who was a good friend of mine, if I could start my own company and bring him clients and then just take a cut. So basically he would just charge me contract printing price and I would just be another customer to him. But at the same time, I was handling all of his art flow and managing his graphic designers. So I had a lot of flexibility in this position, and it was that flexibility with that company and that owner that really allowed me to segue into my own stuff. I started bringing him more and more clientele. I had a lot of friends in the restaurant and bar and nightclub industry, and I was also involved in a lot of athletic clubs. So I had a lot of potential clientele at my fingertips, and I fully took advantage of that. I just basically made sure that everyone knew I was the guy if you needed t-shirts. Without people, you really don't have a business, so I just knew that I had to become that brand for most people. And I was pretty successful in doing so. Within a couple of years, I was able to pull in like over $100,000 every year in sales, which didn't leave too much in profit, but at least it was something. I think I was making like an extra 20 grand per year by building this side hustle and just getting clientele and bringing the clientele to him and basically just taking a cut. So building up that business is what really carved out my understanding of how business works, how relationships work, and how important they are, and the idea of just making commissions and making profits. The one thing that I never really enjoyed about the screen printing industry, or that type of business in general, is I was always working with a customer. So I was dealing with customer questions, I was dealing with emails, I was dealing with returns, I was dealing with refunds, I was dealing with all kinds of things that sucked up a ton of time. And from that moment forward, I realized that what I want to do in the future is something that does not require a lot of time dealing with one-on-one customers. I didn't want to be in the customer service field. That really wasn't something that I was passionate about, and I just wanted to create. But I knew that I would have a very difficult time just taking art in my art degree to create and make a good living, or at least the living that I wanted for myself. So in 2018, I was in the Midwest, and I ended up flipping my life around, selling everything I own, and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. The main reason that I did this is because I just wanted a drastic change in my life. Doing so completely changed my life and freed up a lot of time. I had all of my friends who were back home in Wisconsin and Milwaukee, and when I moved to Charlotte, I didn't really have a lot of friends, so it gave me a lot of time to basically just dive into learning, exploring, and really figuring out what it was that I wanted to do with the next chapter of my life. This is how we got into YouTube. So from the age of 15, 16 years old, I have been involved in cars, whether it was modifying them, racing them, building them, painting them, repairing them, designing them, basically anything I could think of relating to cars. I had always been obsessed with automobiles. So when it came time to find out what I wanted to do, what I wanted to make content about, naturally I gravitated towards cars because that was the thing that I absolutely loved. And I knew if I was going to make content for a long time and try to make it a career, it had to be something that I absolutely loved, or I would just get sick of it, I would burn out and probably quit. Because even the things that you absolutely love, if you head down this road, it's gonna be a testing process and you're gonna get sick of the things you love from time to time. Like, that's just the way it goes. Do too much of anything and it's not going to be fun anymore. So I had established that I wanted to do cars, something with cars. I had always loved BMWs. I owned a BMW at the time. It was the 328 F30, the car that started this channel. And the other recipe to this meal was YouTube. I had always been fascinated with YouTube, creating film, editing, storytelling, and just watching YouTube. I would spend days and days and hours and weeks just studying YouTubers, what they did, why they did it, how they filmed, how they edited, the type of music they used, their sort of storytelling. And then I dove into car YouTube or BMW YouTube and just really started studying those people as well. So at that point, I decided it was time to take a crack at it myself. And I bought a $50 GoPro Session, which was the cheapest GoPro that you could buy at the time. And I just started filming myself and talking about the things that I thought people would be interested in on my car. And yes, for the first year, absolutely nobody watched me. I was a no one. I was making content 3 to 4 days a week with nobody watching, and it was a long, grueling process. I remember the first 100 subscribers I got to this day, and it felt like I was on top of the mountain. I couldn't believe that there were actually 100 people that had decided to watch my content, which was huge for me because that proved my concept that when I got 100 people to subscribe to this channel, I knew that some people in this world would want to hear about the things that I talk about. And that validated the entire idea for me. I was reckless after that. I was obsessed and I was going to do everything in my power to become a content creator in the car realm, in the BMW world, just building these cars. So I did what everyone else would do. I talked about the things that I thought everyone would want to hear me talk about on my own car. And then I looked around and saw what other people were doing. If it worked for them, I decided to make my own version of that. And that is really important when it comes to YouTube. That is literally what everyone should be doing when they first start out. Look at what other people are doing, see what's working, and make your own version of it. So after doing a bunch of videos like how to do this, how to do that, DIY, build this, my preference on mods, there was an application that I had caught wind of after doing a bunch of research called Beamer Code. And Beamer Code allowed people like us to code in features using an application on our cell phone into our BMWs, like folding mirrors, like having blinkers last longer, like lights turning on when you walk up to the car, like windows rolling down via key fob. Beamer Code was new and interesting, and there really wasn't a lot of information online about it. Everything that was online about it was written in the forums. I could hardly find anything on YouTube. This was a breakthrough moment for me because I remember thinking, if this many people are interested in reading about this app, which they were, I'm sure that many people are wondering how to use it, and they'd prefer just having a video, which is sometimes a little bit easier for some people to follow. Someone who could just lay it out step by step. So that's exactly what I did. For months, I made videos on literally every single thing that you could code on Beamer Code into my car, using my car as an example, and then also broadly just talked about Beamer Code and what it is and how you can get into it. And then of course I would link below certain things that you would need in order to use Beamer Code. After doing this for a while, I really started to gain traction on my YouTube channel and get thousands and thousands of subscribers, which allowed me to really dive into more of like the personalized builds and the things that I just enjoyed doing, which was my flavor and my taste on my build. It just so happens that other people were interested in watching that as well, so I was able to build up a pretty awesome audience right away. Mind you, during all of this, I was still freelancing. When I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, I still had jobs. I wasn't free of the matrix. I had to work for other people, and I hated it. All I knew from the time that I was younger and working for other people is when I'm older, I don't want to have to work for other people, and I would do everything in my power to not have to work for other people, so I had freedom and time, because that is the most valuable currency, in my opinion, freedom and time. So at that point in time, I was getting paid $0 from YouTube. I was not making any money whatsoever. And so I started researching more and figured out that you can actually make money on YouTube. I had no idea. I'm making these videos this entire time. I had no idea that I could be monetized. I had no idea that I could make money, but YouTube wouldn't allow me to monetize my channel because I needed a certain amount of subscribers, a certain amount of watch hours. So I figured, well, maybe someday I can make some money from YouTube, but for right now, let's find other ways. And that is when I learned about affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing changed my life. It is the thing that allowed me to live outside of having an actual job and pursue my actual hobbies and turn my passions into actual money-making income streams. And just how I became obsessed with getting into YouTube, creating content and researching, I became obsessed with affiliate marketing. When I learned about affiliate marketing, it was literally the key to the handcuffs to release me from having a job and working for other people. I still remember the first few videos that I watched on affiliate marketing, and my mind absolutely exploded because I was already doing a lot of the things that these people were talking about, but I just wasn't making money on it. I was bringing people into the channel. I had products that people wanted to buy. I was offering a value for free to people. I was not asking them to pay for anything. I wasn't collecting a commission on the products that I was suggesting to people and showing them how to use. In order to use Beamer Code, you needed to have a Bluetooth adapter that connected your phone to your car. A bunch of different brands make this Bluetooth adapter, but at the time it was VPeak, and they also sold all of these adapters on Amazon. So what I did was I went to Amazon.com, I figured out how to set up an affiliate account, and I started linking those adapters in all of my Beamer Code videos. Lo and behold, I started making money. This was another breakthrough moment because it was a proof of concept. Just like when I had the first 100 subscribers on my channel and that light bulb went off and I realized, holy shit, this works. I can actually get people to listen to me. They, for whatever reason, like what I'm saying. I started making money on that adapter and I realized, holy shit, this works. I can create videos with some value, offer up a product, and if people buy it, I can make a little bit of commission. And the best part about it is I never had to deal with a customer. I didn't have to deal with returns. I didn't have to deal with emails. That was all up to the company, and I just made my percentage and walked away. This allowed me more time. So at the end of the day, everything came down to time. That was about 6 years ago. And in the next 6 years, I spent all of my time making videos about value, finding products that I thought people would like, and then also linking those products and showing them how to use them, and of course making a commission or a cut on those products. In that meantime, I also became monetized by YouTube. It was, I think, after the first year, I got monetized by YouTube, and I was not making hardly any money at first, but it's kind of like a snowball effect with YouTube. Like once a few videos go viral, then others do, and people start subscribing, and now we're at like 133,000 subscribers, and I make pretty decent money on YouTube, but I have all of these different affiliate programs that I belong to. So basically, I sell all of these products for other companies, and being that I sell over $1 million in products for different companies per year, and I make a cut of that, I have bargaining power as to who I want to work with and how much commission I think is fair, because I have a larger audience and I provide more value. And if I'm selling the most out of all of the creators that are signed up to a certain affiliate program, then it allows me to gain a little bit more commission because they know that at the end of the day, I'm going to make them money. So if I'm making them money and I'm making money, we're all happy. That's affiliate marketing in a nutshell. You're basically just a modern day online salesman, and you're helping connect people to products and showing them how to use them. Of course, you guys, there's much more to this. When it comes to YouTube, it's complex. There's so many different things that you can learn. There's so many things that you can expand on and talk about and build on, but I'm not going to dive too far into all the YouTube stuff because we could just sit here and talk for hours. But essentially, that is how I got my start. And it came down to some breakthrough moments that happened for me, and I was following the things that I really enjoyed doing from the get-go. I think that that's really important. If you are following the things that you love, you more than likely will not burn out or stop when it gets tough because you're just doing it because you love it. I wasn't making a lot of money on YouTube, any money, to be exact, for the first year. And the only way that I got through that was because, one, I had flexible jobs on the side that allowed me to still live. And then I also was still doing the thing I probably would have done anyways if I wasn't making money. So it was really easy to get through those hard times. But once I was able to build up all of my different affiliate revenues, build up my YouTube channel, at a certain point, I was making way more money doing that, the things I loved, than doing the things I didn't love, which was the freelance art for these different screen printing companies. And it allowed me to break free from that and quit all of those companies and just focus on the things that I loved and I knew would make me money in the future, and way more money because I was more passionate about it. And since then, I've been obsessed with everything YouTube, everything content, even things outside of cars, but obviously mostly cars. I think that this story is important because a lot of people ask me how I got here and they want to know like my journey. And I think there are more things than just cars. And I think sometimes we need to talk about that on this channel because the world is more than just cars. I love building these cars and I love doing this for a living, but at the same time, there's just more to be learned about life and making money and following your dreams, if you will. Anyways, we can dive into more later, you guys. If you have any questions for me, leave them down below. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.